pointing out that in Sefer Yonah there seems to be two primary mahalachim in the Sefer. One mahalach is the mahalach of Teshuva, that the primary theme of the Sefer is Teshuva, and the other is V'racham aval kol ma'asav, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has rachamim on everybody, and that is the machlokes that Yonah is having with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There is a fundamental debate going on between God and Jonah, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying, I want to have rachamim on Nineveh, and Yonah is like, no, that's not true. That's not a mistake. It's not fair. Certainly not fair, right? These good for nothing, low life. Like, okay. But in doing so, and it's very clear, in doing so, Yonah is not behaving well. What do you mean Yonah is not behaving well? So, it's a Gemara in Masechah Sanhedrin. You should see this Gemara inside because it's kedai to see it. The Gemara in Sanhedrin, the Feitas, has a specific phrase to refer to what Yonah does wrong. What does Yonah do wrong? Pshat in the Psukim, what does he do wrong? He runs away. So what's wrong with that? Say no. Hashem says do something and he says no. Okay, so he didn't do what Hashem wants. What's wrong with that?
He also has a different validation for what he's doing.
Right, he's fighting with HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Yeah.
But that part we said was
that's mutter. I mean, usually HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to fight in the defense of Klal Yisrael. He is fighting not in the defense of Klal Yisrael, I mean, sort of, but also in the non-defense of Nineveh. He wants to make sure that Nineveh is not going to be successful. It's a Mishnah in Masechah Sanhedrin where the Mishnah in Gemara says the Mishnah as follows. Mishnah tells us, Navi Sheker, if you have a false prophet. What's a false prophet? False prophet is?
Someone who's not repeating, he didn't speak to Hashem, he's just doing his own thing.
So, no, that's just a shakra. What makes somebody from a liar into a Navi Sheker?
misinterpreting?
Well, so practically what it means, a Navi Sheker means somebody that is a Navi. He is a prophet, but the thing, meaning he's bona fide, verified, he is a prophet, but the thing that he's telling you is not from Hashem. Meaning he is misappropriating his authority as a Navi to tell you something that's not what HaKadosh Baruch Hu said. So he's speaking in the name of God, though he did not get this particular nevuah from Hashem. It's his own idea. That's called the Navi Sheker. Navi Sheker, Hamis Navi Masha Lo Shom. He prophesies that which he has not heard from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Uma Shaloi Ne'amar Lo. And he says that which was not said to him. Mitasei bidei Adam. He gets put to death. Gets put to death in Beis Din. That's last week's Parashat Shabbat. Gets put to death in Beis Din. Aval hakovesh is nevuah say. But with regards to a kovesh nevuah say, etc., mitasei bidei shamayim. He gets killed bidei shamayim. His punishment is misa bidei shamayim. And then the Gemara tries to figure out, okay, what does it mean a kovesh is nevuah say, and who is a kovesh as nevuah say? Literally, it means one who conquers or squelches his nevuah. Meaning, Baruch Hu said to him, go and prophesy. And he says, I'm not going to. I don't want to do this. And in the entirety of Tanakh, the Gemara comes up with one person that's kovesh nevuah, and that's Yonah. Which means, what's his punishment?
Misa
b'dei shamayim. Misa b'dei shamayim. That's a very helpful Gemara and Mishnah to be aware of. Because, if you take a look, grab a copy of Sefer Yonah here, because we're going to point out something that you probably haven't taken note of before. Come on in!
When Moshe argued, like for 7 days, Hashem tells him go.
Right.
And he says, no, that's not kovesh.
No, because Baruch Hu said to him, go prophesy. Go tell the people that you're going to be free. And eventually he does. Yonah doesn't. Okay. Now, there's a big machlokas in the Rishon, the advices along Tshuva and quotes from Rashba, like, was he actually kovesh nevuah and love with the Raisa? Was it a chait that was like that or not quite? Okay, there's a lot of lamdas to say. But let's explain Yonah's behavior at the beginning of the Sefer. It's very peculiar. Yonah's behavior at the beginning of the Sefer is as follows. These notes are from when Rav Reuven gave the Shurim in Kerem Yavne. He's given the Shurim a number of times. He wrote the Sefer on it. But if we take a look at Pasuk Aleph in Sefer Yonah, says the Pasuk as follows. The whole Sefer is one page. It's easy, right? Right? 4 prophets, 1 page. You can fit it on a page pretty comfortably, right? 2 columns, font size 12, 13. It's not a huge Sefer. There's a lot to say in it. But Vayid Varasham and Yonah ben Amitai Lemar. So we explained the word ben Amitai last week. Good. Kum leich el Ninveh ha'ir hagdola. Get up and go to Ninveh, the great city. Ukra elaha. And call out to it. Ki alta ra'asam lefanai, because its evil has come before me. Vayakum Yonah. And Yonah gets up. So far, so good, right? Hashem says to him, Kum lech. So what does Yonah do? Vayakum, he gets up. This is doing well so far. So far. This first thing that Yonah does, so far, sababa. Kum, he gets up. But instead of lech, what does he do? Livrach Tarshisha. To go to Tarshish, milifnei Hashem, which we'll talk about on the time. What does it mean, milifnei Hashem? There's a lot to say about that. I want you to take note of the next verb, which is Vayirid, right? Because the pasuk says Kum, get up. And what does Yonah do? He gets up, but then
goes down.
Vayirid. He goes down. Vayirid Yafo. He goes down to Yafo. Vayim, so he finds a boat to Bar Tarshish that's on its way to Tarshish. Vayitan Schar, and he pays its wages. What's the next word? Vayirid ba. He goes down into it again. To go to Tarshish from before Hashem. And Hashem makes this big wave sea. Nope. Vayisar Gadol was very stormy in the sea. And the boat is about to crack. And the sailors are all terrified. And they scream out each one to their God. And they chuck off the stuff, all the stuff that's on the boat. Elayam into the sea. To make it lighter. Vayona Yarad. What does he do? He goes down. Third time now. Right? He goes down again. El Yarkase Hasvina Vayishkav Va Yiradim. What does that mean? Yiradim?
Goes down.
So it's the root of Yerida, but what does that mean? Pshat? It means he went to sleep.
Goes to sleep.
Right?
Tardema is
Right. So he goes into a slumber, which is a bizarre thing to do. Because if there's a massive storm going
How
on,
do you even fall asleep?
right? How's he falling asleep here? How's he falling asleep? Isn't
Tardema usually used when someone gets in the vua? It's a deep kind of a sleep also?
Could be. It could be. The first time that we found Tardem in the Chumash is
I can't remember.
Adam Rishon, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
Pil
right,
Kardim
right.
Adam. That's when, right?
Takes out the
rib. Yeah. Vayikra elav Rav Chavel, and the captain of the ship comes up to him and he says, "This is no, Yonah. This is for you, Sfardim and Yonah." What does he say to him? Pasuk Vav, Vayomer lo, Ma lecha nirdam, Ad ben Adam, Ma lecha nirdam. Right. This is the pasuk. Kum kara el elokecha. Why don't you call to your God? Ulai is ashet ha Elokim lanu v'lo navet. Maybe God will be good to us. He'll have mercy on us, and we will not be lost. Vayomru ishareu, and then they. What does Yonah say back there, by the way? Nothing. So far, what has Yonah said in the first 6 psukim? Nothing. Nothing. Ephes, klum, zippa, zilch, like garnished. No words have been said by Yonah until this point in time. So they look at each other and they go, "Okay, let's make a lottery. We know who did this. And they did this lottery, and it comes out on Yonah. And they say to him, tell us, talk to us. Why is this all happening? Ma melachtecha u'me'ayin tavo ma'aretzecha ve'ei nizeh am ata. This is, they want the resume. What do you do? Where are you from? What is your land? What is your people? Bizarre list of questions, which there's a lot to say about, but hold up for that. Vayomer alehem, and he says, and they turn this into a song, right? Ivri anochi, I'm a Hebrew. Ve'es Hashem elokei hashamayim ani yareh, and I fear the God of the heaven. Asher asas esayam esayam asha, who made the sea and dry land. Now, that's a fascinating phrase for Yonah to say, because he is currently running away from God. Right? I'm a Hebrew and I fear God. That's what's going on, right? And they all get terrified and they say, what have we done? Because they knew that that he was running away from Hashem because he told them. Where did he tell them? Doesn't say. Right? Apparently this incredibly important thing, he didn't tell them. Meaning, we don't know how he said to them, but he told them. They said to him, what should we do? That the sea should be quiet. Because we're all going to die. It's a big storm. And he says to them, chuck me into the sea and the sea will be quiet. Because I know I know that this is all because of me. Right?
Amen.
By the way, Raya from here, the Jews control the weather. That's right?
Almost. It didn't exactly control the storm, but
right.
Ultimately.
Right? Jews control the weather. That's it. That's it for all the anti-Semites on YouTube that are going to follow along with this. They're going to get a shot of this. Orthodox rabbi says Jews control the weather.
It's funny that Thunberg, who was a climate activist, got stopped by bad weather.
Mm-hmm. That's it's the Jews' fault, right? Yeah. It's cheaper than El Al, by the way. So, and the people decide, we're not chucking you into the sea. Let's go back to dry land. They couldn't do it because there's no getting out of this. They call out to Hashem because now they're terrified. If this God of Yonah has made the storm happen, and they're going to murder this Yonah fellow, so then how are we going to? What's going to happen to us? Ana Hashem el not novda b'nefesh ha'isha hazeh. Don't let us all die because of this guy. V'al titein aleinu dam naki. And don't kill us for spilling innocent blood. Because you are God, whatever you want, you do. Vayisuz Yonah, they pick him up, vayatilu el hayam, and they chuck him off the boat. Ve'amod hayam nizafo, and the sea stops. Vayiru hanashim yiro gedola, and they are overcome with this overwhelming fear. Yiro gedola Hashem, v'yizbechu zevach laHashem. Vayidru nidarim, and they bring korbanos and they make vows. What do they vow? What is the sacrifice? We don't know. What happens to these people after the story?
We don't hear any more about the people on the ship.
Maybe. We'll talk about it. What happens next? No.
Yonah gets swallowed up.
Swallowed by the fish.
2 fish.
Right, Chazal said 2 fish, right? Dag and then Dag. Hold on to that for a moment. Okay. Within Sefer Yonah, you have 4 prakim. The first parak is Yonah running away. The final parak is Yonah fighting with Hashem. The third parak is Yonah begrudgingly doing what Hashem wants him to do. Very clearly that he's doing it begrudgingly and not like pumped to do this. The frum parak of Yonah is parak base. That is Yonah at his frummest. He's a erlechayid, parak base. He's davening. The tefillah of Yonah, beautiful. So let's read it. Vayiman Hashem dag gadol livlo es Yonah, and Hashem commands a big fish. Livlo es Yonah, to swallow Yonah. Vayihi Yonah bimei hadag shlosha yom shlosha leilos, and he is inside of this dag for 3 days and 3 nights. Vayispalel Yonah el Hashem elokav mimei hadaga, and he cries out to Hashem, his God, from the belly of the daga. What's daga? Female fish. So what's the drasha that Chazal say on this? What's the drasha here? How long was Yonah inside of the fish?
3 days.
3 days, 3 nights. What happened in those 3 days and 3 nights?
Well, first, it just says Vayihi Yonah. It doesn't say that he was a spalel those 3 days.
Yeah. Nothing for 3 days and 3 nights. Rashi says, Dag gadol zachar haya. It was a male dag. Vaya oimed berevach. Because it was a male dag, it was a male fish, he had plenty of space in there. I don't know what the accommodations is. How many stars on TripAdvisor.
Well, maybe because if it's the same fish, a male might be larger than the female.
So we'll see. Chazal is going to tell, Rashi is going to quote. Velo nasan leivlis palel. Yonah is in this fish for 3 days. He does not pray. Not a word, not a peep. Nothing. Ramas HaKadosh Baruch Hu ledag, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu points at this fish, v'iki oi, and he vomits him out, literally, l'soich piyashon nekeva, into the mouth of a female fish. Shayasam mele'ah uvreha, it was filled with little eggs, hatchling fish that are v'hayasham b'doichak, and therefore he is crushed. His tiny living spaces. Vayispalel sham, and Yonah davens there. Shene'emar b'mei hadaga, because the pasuk says that he davens from the mouth of the female fish.
So you went from 5-star to 2-star.
1 star, right? There's no you're right. The bed bugs and right, and some basically and some slumlord collecting rent, leaky faucets, no air conditioning. There's nothing good there. So he starts screaming to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So let's read this tefillah. Yeah. Take a look at pasuk base with me. You have to read this inside with me. This is important. Sorry, pasuk gimel. See, very base pasuk gimel. Pasuk says as follows: Vayomer. Read carefully with me. Vayomer. What does Vayomer mean? And he said, Karasi mitzarali el Hashem. What's Karasi?
I met up with,
I called out to, right? Karasi mitzarali, from my tzara, el Hashem, to Hashem. Aneni. Aneni, right? What does he call out?
He doesn't say what he called out.
No, he says
Vaya aneni.
Vaya aneni. What does Vaya aneni mean?
Answered me.
And he answered me.
What word does it say here? Vaya aneni. And he answered me.
Mm-hmm.
And Hashem answered me. Where are we right now?
He's still inside.
Still inside.
Doesn't sound like.
Palel Yonah el Hashem mimei hadaga, that he davens from inside of the fish. What does he say? Karasi mitzarali el Hashem. What should it say now? Anini, answer me. Doesn't say Anini. What does it say?
This is already post.
And he answered me. Min betin sha'ol shavasi, from the belly of Sheol. What's Sheol?
Grave.
The grave, right? The underworld. Shavisi, I am calling out to you. Shamata koli, you have heard my voice. What do you mean Shamata koli? Shema koli. Hashem shema b'koli. This pasuk, my difference is in the wrong tense.
It starts out Vayomer, but then it changes.
Right. How many times have you heard Sefer Yonah? You read Sefer Yonah?
Every year.
Every year, right?
At least.
Ever bothered you that this is in the completely wrong tense? This pasuk is written wrong. Who wrote this book, by the way? Who wrote Sefer Yonah? It's not a trick question.
Yonah?
Yonah, right?
I guess.
Meaning he knows what he said in the belly of the fish. Right? He knows what he said. What did he say? Vaya'anini, and he answered me. Shamata kali, you have heard my voice. Doesn't make any sense. The next pasuk makes sense. You have thrown me. That's past tense. You have thrown me into the sea. And there's a river that's surrounding me. That all these waves and all of these shattered things, breakings, have come upon me. And I have said that I have been chased away from before your face, from before your eyes. But I will yet see your heichal. I will yet see the Beit HaMikdash. The waters have swallowed me up to beyond my nose. The depths are surrounding me. The reeds have surrounded my head. I went to the tips of the mountains, meaning as high as mountains of tall I have gone. Yarati haaretz b'richa ba'adi le'olam v'tal mishachas chayei Hashem Elokai. I've gone down into the depths of the depths. V'tal mishachas chayei Hashem Elokai, and you, Hashem, you have lifted me up from the pit of my life. What do you mean you've lifted me up? Has he lifted him up? No, he's still down there. When my soul was weary, I remembered Hashem, and let my tefillah come to you. El heichal kol shechad lebeis hamikdash. When is he talking about? What is he davening? Present tense, future tense, past tense? Those that hold on to words of meaninglessness, their kindness will be abandoned. And I, with a voice of gratitude, I will sacrifice to you that which I vowed I will pay. Yeshua asa la Hashem. My salvation is for Hashem. Vayomer Hashem ladag, and Hashem says to the fish, Vayakeh es Yonah el Yabasha, and he spits out Yonah. What does Yonah not say at any point in time in this tefillah?
First of all, he never says he was wrong.
He never says I messed up.
He doesn't ask Hashem to take him out of the...
Doesn't ask him to take him out of the fish.
Yeah.
What does he say?
Because you heard my prayers.
You've heard my prayers. Which prayers?
Doesn't abbreviate.
Doesn't say. Unless this is the prayer, because that's what it sounds like.
Right.
So where's the prayer? And what's he saying?
That's why it's in past tense, maybe?
Is he doing tshuva? Is this tshuva?
No.
Doesn't sound like tshuva. Nowhere in this parak does Yonah say, Chatati aviti peshati. Hashem, I'm sorry. Hashem, I'm sorry. Doesn't say. Nowhere does he say, Ribono shel olam, I've messed up. Chatati aviti peshati. The Rambam writes, how do you do tshuva? Firstly, you have to do vidui. You have to accept, you have to acknowledge, you have to admit. Confess. That's called vidui. That's a piece of the mitzvah of tshuva. But what are the three stages of the actual emotional roller coaster of tshuva? Says the Rambam, that the sinner has to abandon his sin. and he has to remove it from his mind, and resolve never to do it again. Meaning, stop doing it, stop meditating on it, fantasizing about it, thinking about it, right? And then a commitment to never doing it again. Never does Yonah say any of those things. So what is this whole parak about? What is his tefillah? When is he davening? And then you have to ask the question, why does Hashem tell the fish to spit him out? Doesn't sound like he fixed anything. Ma karapo. What's going on? So this is not my question. This bothered the Rishonim. If you take a look, Rashi tells you, V'ani amarti. Take a look at V'ani amarti, I said. So you have Rashi, you have the Radak, you have the Ibn Ezra, you have the Barbanali, there's a lot to say. Take a look at the Ibn Ezra, by the way. Go take a look at the Ibn Ezra first. V'yispalel, that Yonah daven, so the Ibn Ezra writes as follows. He says, V'yispalel, he says, Mefarshim wrote to Lefarish Chidush. Says the Mefarshim wanted to say a Chidush, the other Mefarshim, the Ibn Ezra is saying there are those that wanted to say, V'atzia akasav mi pshutai. They wanted to say, take it out of context, out of its simple reading, Ki Yonah lo yispalel rak acharei tzeisa yavasha. That Yonah never davened inside the fish. Because the whole thing is in past tense. And it doesn't say that he davened in the belly of the fish. It says that he davened from the belly of the fish. What does it mean that he davened from it? When he was outside of it. Says the Ibn Ezra, but that's going to say, you saved me beten. It says, and David Melech says, from the depths I call out to you, Hashem. It says, va'oid and more. It says, shavasi, that my entreaty, my plea seems to be a dead giveaway. Ki is palel, that he is daven. V'shav el Hashem, and that he did, and that he is calling out to Hashem. Terem shiyakeo adag. Says, but it doesn't make sense. The tense of the tefillah is in the wrong tense, but the contents of the tefillah tells you that he's in the fish. So he says to say that he only prayed on the flip side of this episode doesn't make sense. So the same thing. My tefillah should come to you. It would have been a dead giveaway if the pasuk would have said that Yonah davened after he got out of the fish. It says, it doesn't make any sense. That mahalech that he quotes from unnamed Mefarshim, he says makes no sense. It cannot be that Yonah only davened afterwards. This is because otherwise the whole context of the pasuk of the tefillah makes no sense. Says the Ibn Ezra, "Va'ata sim libcha." Pay close attention, re'eh, and see. Gekol tefillas navi b'birkasei beruach nevuah. And then he has a mahalach. There's mahalach, and you can tell me if you like this mahalach or not. We're going to see more than this. And he says Yonah is davening in the past tense because he knows beruach nevuah that he's going to get out. Meaning all of this is part of his nevuah, and he's davening with the nevuah, which means that he can daven in past tense. Who am I to say against Ibn Ezra? But it feels like a kvetch, right? And he gives you rise that sometimes the Nevi'im speak within this, meaning within this context. They'll say something that's going to happen in the past tense because they know that it's going to happen. And we have a principle in general that any nevuah that Hashem promises for good will be good. It seems to be that Yonah already knows that he's going to get out of the fish, so he doesn't have to worry about it.
But it's almost if you're trying to make the narrative fit the text,
right?
As opposed to having a real reason why it's written the way it's written.
Right. But you also have a fundamental problem beyond that, which is if Yonah knows that he's going to get out of the fish, why is he diving?
Maybe he knows that's part of him getting out. It's
meaning, I'm going to daven and I'll get out.
Yeah.
So then the whole thing seems to be a farce.
Yeah.
Right? Which makes the question even more difficult, right? Like, he didn't do it.
He's only started davening after when he got into a tired place.
Yeah, for sure.
So otherwise they would be chilling in the
3 days and 3 nights is a long time to be sitting around and not even freaking out.
Not a peep. Not a peep. Right? Okay, so that's the Ibn Ezra. The Abarbanel is a beautiful mahalach. I don't think it's pshat, but it's a beautiful mahalach. From what we said last time, he says the Abarbanel. We'll say this outside, just to because the Abarbanel is long. But who is Yonah? Where did we meet up with Yonah before? That's the boy that Eliyahu brought back to life, right? Says the Abarbanel. He says, "I'll tell you what's going on here. Yonah, when he is in the belly of the fish, is turning to Hashem and reflecting on the last time that he was in a life-threatening situation.
When he was a boy.
When he was a little boy, Eliyahu came and brought him back to life. So when he was dying on his deathbed as a little boy, so that's where he said, Vayomer, he said, Karasi mitzara li el Hashem v'yaneni. Right? That when I called out to Hashem, he answered me, meaning 60 years ago. Mi beten Sheol, from the belly of Sheol, the grave, not the fish. From the belly of the grave, Shavasi shamatikali, you listened to me then. But it's a little bit hard to say that.
He didn't call out.
Eliyahu
didn't call
out. It's also he was dead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right. Meaning you have to then say that he was davening, but it doesn't say that he was davening. That this is some reflection of something that we don't know occurred.
We associate.
Right, meaning it's a beautiful pshat. It goes very well with Chazal, but it's hard to say that pshat in the Pasuk. Rashi's pshat is interesting. Rashi and the Radak pretty much say the same thing. Rashi at the top of the page. I said, Pasuk, it was the Pasuk that I've been sent away from before you. Rashi says, when I was thrown into the sea, what does that mean? I knew I was going to die. I was thrown away from before you. But Ra'isi shikiyamtani, I see that you have kept me alive. Kol elu hayamim, for all of these days. Yadati, I know ki yosif la'abid el heichal kodshecha, that I will yet come to see the heichal. The Radak points out even deeper, meaning explaining Rashi the same mahalach. So shechashavti, I thought shehitiluni bayam shani meis, that when I was turning to see, I was going to die for sure. I was going to be chucked away from before you. That you no longer care about me. That you have turned your face from me, and your eyes be many from me. Now that you have done this great miracle for me, and I'm still alive, within the belly of the fish. I now know that I will yet come and see the Beis Hamikdash. In the place of Nevuah, in the place of you taking deep care over me, I will still be brought to you. And if I have run away from you, it says, and since I've run away from you, I will yet come and face you and daven to you by the Beis Hamikdash. Meaning, says Rashi and the Radak, what Yonah knows is that since I've survived, it means that Hashem doesn't want me dead. Doesn't want me dead, so I know that I'm going to survive, and that's why you can talk in past tense. Meaning, Hashem, you have already answered me because I'm alive.
Does this him talking about being alive refer back to when he was a boy?
No, meaning now. Now. What's the problem here?
By the way Rashi explained it?
Yeah. According to Rashi and the Radak, this is theologically very troubling. Because
he still hasn't done any of the Nevuah.
He hasn't done the Nevuah, and he hasn't done Tshuva. But also theologically troubling because the fact that a person survives something miraculously, what that means that now they're immortal. Maybe Hashem wants you to suffer inside of the fish and then die. By the way, it's not the first time. Not the first time. You have like this by Yamsuf. Pasuk says by Yamsuf that Yochlemu Kakash, Saluka Feres, and Yizmuka Oven.
Yeah.
The Mitzvah are compared to three things. They are compared to straw, stone, and lead.
Depending on how.
So Rashi does this, according to the Medrash, it depends on how much of a Rasha that particular Egyptian was. Some Egyptians, they drowned quick, like lead. Some spiraled around like a stone. Right? You drop a stone, it doesn't sink, it spirals. And some, Yochalem and Kakash, they bobbed around like straw until they were. There are better and worse ways to die.
It's prolonged death.
Right? How does Yonah know that the fact that he's alive is not Hashem miraculously punishing him? Right? You could well assume, he says, Rashi is saying, from the fact that I know.
Well, it won't be the first mistake he made.
Correct. Rashi is saying that this is pshat.
Right.
That this is,
Right.
and apparently this is how the story goes. So in order to understand this, we need to answer a question that we began to ask. Yonah is going down. Vayakum Yonah vayerid yafa. Vayerid ba. Vayiraden. Why does Yonah go to sleep? Chavra, why does he go to sleep when there's a storm going on?
He
He's
also sees the
despondent.
cause of it, yeah.
He doesn't know what to do anymore.
So sit. Why does he go to sleep?
Doesn't want to face reality.
What do you mean? How's he falling asleep? I mean, this is anxiety?
Does he
Depression?
Does he think he's going to die?
What do you think?
I don't think he cares.
No, he very much cares.
Vayered, each step of Vayered could be another level psychologically where he's getting more and more depressed and more, he sees what's happening. He doesn't see any way out of it. He gets worse and worse and worse and keeps sinking.
Chavra.
Yeah, why is he not praying then? At that
Oh,
moment?
why? Tell me.
That's what I'm saying. He knows that there's no way out of it because he's trying to escape the
What's he trying to escape?
Not to go to.
Doesn't want to go to
Yeah.
Nineveh. Doesn't want to go to Nineveh.
Yeah.
Chavra. As far as Yonah is concerned, he doesn't go to Nineveh. Why does he jump on a boat to go to Tarshish?
You said he's trying to escape.
He's running away.
No?
Okay. So why don't you just stay in Eretz Yisrael and not go to...
Because he's running away. Milifnei Hashem. Hashem's Eretz Yisrael. Hashem.
Okay.
I don't know.
So it's true, because I'll say that you only get Nevuah in Eretz Yisrael. So he's trying to run away from the Nevuah. But what's he worried about here? What's going on here? What does Yonah want?
He doesn't do anything. He wants nothing to do with
He
it.
doesn't want the Jews to look bad. That's what we.
Okay. Chavra, the Mishnah told us, what's the punishment of a kovesh es nevuasa?
Misa.
Misa?
Well,
Bidei?
Shemai.
Shemai.
Shemayim, yeah.
When Yonah chooses not to go to Nineveh, what does he expect is going to happen to him?
He'll be good.
He's going to die.
But how can he run away from that? What's the point of running? He's running from God.
Oh. He's not running away from God. He's running away from Nevuah. Pasuk says, Halot varika ish num Hashem. The word of Hashem is like fire. Another that's kovesh is nevuah. So it's very hard to be kovesh nevuah. Because that rotzen of a person to, why does Yonah not speak? I'll say because a navi Nobody that has a nevuah, he's itching to say it. He has to. Yonah doesn't want to say it. You see, the moment that Yonah opens his mouth, by the way, Yonah is the single most successful prophet in all of Jewish history.
The entire city did tshuva.
Not only the entire city does tshuva, but with 2 sentences, all of the people on the boat are all converting to Judaism. He's very good at this. The moment he opens his mouth, it works. It's not a surprise why HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants him to do this. He's good. And he knows that this is going to be bad for the Jewish people, and it's not going to be emes, and he wants the world to be running by emes and not based on the charisma of the Navi. It's going to be... But he can't do it. He doesn't want to do it. So Yonah runs away from Nevuah. He doesn't want to receive any more prophecy, and he doesn't want to say any more prophecy. And he wants to run away from people. What does Yonah want? What does he want?
To be left alone.
No. It's very partial. What does Yonah want?
To die.
To die.
Well, you just said a minute ago he doesn't want to die. And said he wants to die.
No, he very much wants to die.
Oh.
He very much
He's
wants
not
to
to
die.
follow. I mean, everything points to that.
He does. The punishment for a kovish in the Nevuah is Misa.
A what?
It's Misa, it's death. What is Yonah doing now? He's been Mekabel all of a sudden. He says, Ribbana Shalom, kill me. I'm not doing it. And I don't want to be a sinner.
So what changed?
I'm Mekabel my punishment.
So what changed?
Did anything
After 10
change?
days? Well, his condition changed. There's something changed.
Yeah.
That forced him to start praying.
What changed?
Who's going to kill everyone with him?
So he says, I don't want everybody to die, so what should you do? Throw me overboard. What does he expect when he's thrown overboard?
To die.
To die.
Drown, yeah.
So Hashem saves him with the fish.
Saves him with the fish, and for 3 days, he's sitting inside of this fish.
And he's wondering, why aren't I dead yet?
I want to die. I want to die. Why am I not dead? Why does he want to die? Because he wants to be Mekabel the Onish. I did the crime, I'm going to do the time. And then we're done. Hashem, we're square. You wanted me to do this, I'm not going to do it. Kill me, and we're done. Then my neshama goes to the Olam HaEmes, and we're good.
It's pretty complicated. Think like that.
He says, I know what the Onish is. I'm Mekabel. I'm Mekabel the Onish, no problem. Not a problem. Rebbeinu Shalom, you wanted me to do this. I don't want to do it. The punishment is death. Accept. Done.
So what changed in the female fish? That he calls it like he's
But
from
he
the
realizes
grave.
he's not going to die.
He's not going to die.
But he says it like I'm from the grave, right?
Correct. I mean, I'm like that, but he's in suspended animation. He's there. Yonah now is immortal, Ki'ilu.
In his mind, he thought he was dead. His life was over.
He was hoping. And yet he's not. Here I am, I'm still alive.
When he says Mibet and Sheol, he's not referring to being in the fish, he's referring to being in the water.
Oh,
Is that the whole idea of what Rashi and Razak are saying?
yeah.
That his prayer was thanking Hashem for saving him from the water.
He's not thanking Hashem.
Oh.
Thanking is not in this pasuk at all.
Which is you heard it, you answered.
Vayom karasi mitzara li el Hashem. I called out from my pain. Vayaneni, and he answered me. Mi betin shal shivasi shamatakali, from the depths of from the belly of the grave. Shivasi, I've turned to you. Shamatakali, you've heard my voice. Because Yonah realizes he's not killing me. So if he's not killing me, what does that mean?
Can a nanny also be to make you suffer?
That is also true. He's caused me to be in pain. What does Yonah now think? that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has rachamim on me, he's not going to kill me. What's going to happen?
Stuck in the fish forever.
No.
I got a big problem now.
What's the problem?
The problem is I wasn't going to say the nevuah. I'm not dying, so here I got a big problem. I'm living and I'm not saying the nevuah. I got to do something.
Right. So what does he say? He goes, wow, Rebbeinu Shalom, you realize you agree with me. I called out to you. You get it. You don't want me dead. You forgave me. You forgave me.
At that point, he doesn't think he has to still go through with it.
Because the beginning of Perek Gimel comes as a surprise. Vayhi dvar Hashem el Yonah shenis lemar. Hashem says to Yonah again,
Same words.
Kum lech el min v'ha'ir ha'gdola, ukra elah, es ha'kriya asher anechi diber elacha.
Exactly the same.
Get up and go, buddy. Get up and go. And then he gets up and goes. Right? Did you understand that what Yonah says in that first tefillah, I mean in Perek Beis, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Yonah, go and speak to Nineveh. And Yonah says, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. For whatever reason, I don't want to do it. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you kept me alive. Why did you keep me alive? I must be that you're masking, that you agree. Meaning, maybe Efshar, that.
What, should change his mind?
No, that this was my challenge. Avraham Avinu had his challenge. Right? Avraham Avinu had his challenge. He was told, go and check your son on the Mizbech. Turns out that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says no. Moshe Rabbeinu is told, I'm going to destroy the Jewish people. And he says, no. I'm also fighting with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saving my life, meaning the fact that I'm being matzliach here indicates clear as day that we're good.
We had an issue in verse Hanan also because HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe to stop already.
Right.
Because if he would have continued.
Yeah.
Right. So it's also he felt strongly about a certain thing and he put up the fight.
Right.
Till he was told, stop already, you have to. So maybe Yonah is saying to himself, I wasn't so wrong.
Meaning the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has saved me, despite the fact that I've run away from him, is right, that this is what he wants. I'm a true Talmud of Eliyahu Navi, that I'm supposed to be doing this, I'm supposed to be putting my foot down. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, go and save Nineveh, and I don't want to save Nineveh. And look at that. And I'm a Kabbalah Zadin. You know, I'm a tzaddik. I'm a Kabbalah what the Rebbeinu Shalom wants. I get into the I run away from Hashem, and he brings this big storm, and I'm happy to be Mekadosh Shem Shemaim to convert a bunch of sailors. You want me to do the Peseda? What is Yonah expecting? He says, "Mishamre heavily shav chazdami azov." That hold on to words of meaninglessness. Their chesed is gone. But ani bekol toda is b'chalecha, and I will be in the base hamikdash, and I'll bring a korban toda. I should nadarti Hashem that which I vowed I will pay. Yeshua Salah Hashem. Salvation belongs to Hashem. What's he expecting? That he's going to come back to Yerushalayim? Woo, Yonah! Yeah, look at Yonah. He stood up to Hashem and he saved the Jewish people, and he demands on the emes, and he's not taking that.
So he thought he was off the hook then, right? Is that the
Pashtus.
until the Gimel?
Yonah is happy with one of two things. He's happy either Rebbeinu Shalom agrees with me, or I did the crime, I did the time. As far as Yonah is concerned, by the time Perek Beis is over, I'm off the hook. And what happens? Hashem says, the fish spit him out. If you're Yonah, what do you think? Chavra, you have to learn Tanakh. You have to learn Tanakh as if you don't know the rest of the story. At no point in time does Yonah know when he's getting chucked off the boat that he's going to survive. And when the fish swallows him, what does he imagine? Kacha, I'm going to die. All of a sudden, he's alive. He's wondering, why am I alive? What's minister that I'm alive? A day goes by 2 days. This is not normal. People don't usually survive in fish. No, okay, maybe freak occurrence. And then the fish spits him into another. No, this is too much. This is the Rebbeinu Shalom clearly telling me, Yonah, you've done something wrong. I'm punishing you, but I don't want to kill you. Yonah goes, wow, Rebbeinu Shalom, you don't want to kill me. Yeah, Nani, you have answered me. You've answered me. You've answered me. I'm not a kavishis nevuos. I'm not a person that's denying the prophecy. I did what was supposed to be done. I'm doing what you want from me, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Gewaldig. And I'm happy to pay up. I'm happy to do everything that you want me to do. I'm happy to believe like you want me to believe. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you love me. Why? Because I'm a tzaddik. I'm a tzaddik. That was shame. They're going to drop dead. They're going to be... I'm a tzaddik. Comes along Hashem to Yonah in the third parak. Tells him, Yonah Babala, Zelo Nachon. Zelo Nachon. Which means, does Yonah do tshuva? No. Because as far as Yonah is thinking, he didn't do an avera. Meaning, he did a technical avera, but this is an avera lishma. He didn't avera l'shem shemayim. Because Baruch Hu wanted me to do this avera. This was my challenge.
And in the fourth parak, he still doesn't use the word emes.
Correct. Meaning the machlokas continues. But it's only then that Yonah realizes that, of course, Baruch Hu has kept me alive to prove me wrong, not to prove me right. There's a line in Tzidkas HaTzadik where Tzadik writes that Hatzlacha is an incredibly imprecise measurement for whether or not HaKadosh Baruch Hu agrees with you. The Chavis HaLevavos, many years before, the Chavis HaLevavos writes that there are 3 reasons that a person gets rich. Reason number 1 that a person gets rich. Reason number 1 is because HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves them. Reason number 2 is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is testing them. And reason number 3 is Hashem is punishing them. How do you know? Meaning it might be, right, it might be that Hashem is giving you your reward in this world so that you have nothing in the world to come.
Well, based on your actions, not that you know.
How do you know? How do you know? So he says the dead giveaway is, what does the riches do for you? What does it do for you if you're rich?
What do you do with it?
Right. Meaning, what kind of person are you now becoming as a result of this? If it makes you into a better person, so then either it was a challenge that you passed, or HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves you. He's rewarding you appropriately. And if it makes your avodas Hashem worse, oy vavoy, then you know that that's a punishment. And that's a dead giveaway that if you are now less of a yid as a result of it, you're less Shabbos and Kasher, less learning and less davening, so then you're in trouble. Then the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving you riches is very bad for you.
So Yonah didn't do tshuva in the belly of the fish.
There's no tshuva here.
All he did is pray. Or he didn't even pray.
He prayed. What was his prayer? Thank you, Hashem. And then, thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. You agree with me. Murdik. You put me through the gauntlet, and you told me that I'm alive. You should love me. Baruch Hu says to him, Yonah, you're not off the hook. Not off the hook. You wanted to die. Because you mekabel did. Shkoyach. I don't want you to die. I want you to recognize that what your mahalach is incorrect.
So Hashem kept him alive to prove that he's wrong.
Right.
That's pretty interesting.
Meaning that's what he's doing there. Why is Yonah being saved? Because he's wrong. And there's something that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is trying to teach you.
Obviously worth teaching. He was that good.
Right. Meaning, Yonah is a worthwhile investment.
Right.
And then we have to ask the question why Badafki Yonah is a worthwhile investment here. That's a big shot. We're going to get there. Who is Yonah? who is this character called Yonah. I'll give you a spoiler alert. Yonah is, in his generation, Moshe ben Yosef.
Whoa.
And there's a lot to say about this. But it's not for nothing that this story is part and parcel of our Yom Kippur davening. There's tshuva, and there's racham al kol nasav, and there's HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to teach you something. That there's part of this that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying to Yonah, Bubala, I want you to understand something. You're not alive because you're right. You're alive because you're wrong.
That's pretty deep.
And I want you to learn that. I want you to know this. What exactly is this lesson? Why Bedaka Yonah? That'll be next time. Have a wonderful evening.
Sure.